Since all the players I have to deal with have the perception of hockey puck, I will explain to you how weapons and armor work in Dungeons and Dragons. Note, I was going through a hard time sometime working through the script. That's why some parts are boring and some are fun, but that's in the written script. I added my own pizzazz. No, some parts are boring. There are two types of weapons, simple and martial. Simple weapons can be used by basically every single class because they are, well, simple. These weapons range from that random stick you found on the ground to a spear. Martial weapons are more weapon-like, the kind you would find on a nice person or a child. Why would the child have a scimitar? Why that child has a scimitar, no one will know. These weapons range from your average longsword to a net. Why? These weapons do more damage than your beloved stick and therefore are more expensive. Only some classes are able to wield martial weapons from the start. So if you want to use that pike, you gotta find someone to train you. All weapons have what's called properties. Not as in property. You think that rapier can own a home? I think not. Think. These properties will now be listed and given a short explanation right now. Ammunition, self-explanatory. Finesse. When making an attack, you can decide to hit and do damage with strength or dexterity. Heavy. If you're a small creature or smaller, you have disadvantage on attack rolls because I'm not sure if I want to pixie waving a great axe around like a fucking toy. You hit with strength, obviously. Light, the exact opposite of heavy. Would you look at that? Hit with dex. Loading, you think you can load a heavy crossbow in under 6 seconds? I think not. Range, used for ranged weapons. Let's take as an example the longbow, though it does apply to thrown weapons as well. Anyway, the thing that says open parentheses range 150/600 close parentheses, that is the disadvantage on that is the range that a bow can shoot. The 150 is the normal range. Any range higher than that has disadvantage on the attack roll. Any range higher than 600 you can't shoot. Reach adds an extra 5 feet to your reach of a melee weapon. Special. Why do you hate me? Thrown. Yeet! Two-handed requires two hands to hold, making shields useless. Versatile can be held in 1 or 2 hands and usually does more damage when held in 2 hands. Now, because I like pain, I will go through every single weapon and explain each one. Club. Costs 1 silver coin. Does 1d4 bludgeoning. It's basically a stick. Weighs 2 pounds and has the light property. Dagger, a rogue's best friend. Costs 2 gold. Does 1d4 piercing. Does 1 pound. Has the property. You have finesse, light, and can be thrown a max of 20 feet and a definite max of 60 feet. Great club. Costs 2 silver because it's just a bigger and heavier stick. Does 1d8 hate bludgeoning. I should use them more. Weighs 10 pounds and is a 200 weapon. Hand axe. It's just a hatchet. Costs 5 gold. Does 1d6 slashing. Weighs 2 pounds and is a light property. Can be thrown the same distance as a dagger. A javelin. A spear. According to Google. Why is it not a spear? Costs 5 silver. Hey, that's pretty good. Does 1d6 piercing, weighs 2 pounds, and can be thrown a max range of 30 feet and a definite max of 120 feet. Light hammer. A hammer, but light. Costs 2 gold. Does 1d6 bludgeoning, weighs 2 pounds, and I'd say that I scream. It says that I scream for some reason, but I can't find the reasons, so I'll skip that. Oh, by the way, it has the light property. What do you know? Mace. Most clerics have at least one lying around. Costs 5 gold, does 1d6 bludgeoning, weighs 4 pounds, and has no properties. Interesting. Quarterstaff. That good stick you found on the ground. The premium stick, if you would like to put it. Costs 2 silver, because it's a stick. Does 1d6 bonk damage. Weighs 4 pounds. How heavy is that stick? And can be held in 2 hands to do 1d8 bonk instead. Sickle. Druid. If spells fail, use the warp blade. Costs 1 gold coin. Yes, I'm doing that every time. Does 1d4 1d4 slashing, don't question it. Weighs 2 pounds and is light. Spear, a pike, but shorter. Costs 1 gold coin. Does 1d6 piercing. I would be concerned if it did slashing. Weighs 3 pounds, and you could throw it a max of 20 feet and a definite max of 60 feet. Or if you want to keep your beloved dagger on a stick that the DM said can be a spear, you can hold it in 2 hands to do 1d8 piercing. Awesome. That's it for the simple melee weapons. Quick point wonder to the range weapons. Light crossbow, if the closest you'll get to a rifle. Costs 25 gold, does 1d8 piercing, weighs 5 pounds, requires ammunition, has a range of 80/320 feet, takes a bit to load, and requires 2 hands to operate. Dart. Costs 5 copper, does 1d4 piercing, weighs 1/4 pound, is a finesse weapon, and can be thrown in the range of a hand axe. Short bow. A bow, but short. Costs 25 gold, does 1d6 piercing, weighs 2 pounds, requires ammunition, requires 2 hands, and has the same range as the light crossbow. Sling, leather go, wee, costs 1 silver coin, does 1d4 bludgeoning damage, weighs pounds, requires ammunition, has a range of 30/120 feet. Now that's done, we can go to martial weapons. Why do I hate myself? Battle axe, a barbarian's weapon and surprisingly one-handed. Costs 10 gold, has 1d8 slashing, weighs 4 pounds, that's why. And can be held in 2 hands to do 1d10 damage. Flail, what you think is a mace. Costs 10 gold, does 1d8 bludgeoning, should do more because as IRL it hits like a truck. Weighs 2 pounds and has no properties. Why? A glaive, a combination of a quarterstaff, half and a sword, which comes out to sword on a stick. Costs 20 gold, sword on a stick. Does 1d10 slashing, weighs 6 pounds, is a heavy weapon. Why? Has reach, well no shit, Sherlock, and is 2-handed. Great axe, not meant to be thrown. Costs 30 gold, does 1d12 slashing, weighs 7 pounds, and is heavy and 2-handed. Great sword, grandma killer, elder destroyer, as others would put it. Costs 50 gold, does 2d6 slashing, weighs 6 pounds, bullshit, and is heavy and 2-handed. Halberd, 2-in-1 deal. Costs 20 gold, does 1d10 and slashing, should be able to choose between slashing and piercing. Weighs 6 pounds. How light is that? Is heavy, reach, and 2-handed. Lance, the only melee weapon that causes me pain. Costs 10 gold, does 1d12 piercing, weighs 6 pounds, has reach, and is special, which I will say now. You have disadvantage when you use a lance to attack a target within 5 feet of you. Also, a lance requires 2 hands to wield when you are not mounted. Longsword, finally, a classic. Costs 15 gold, does 1d8 slashing, weighs 3 pounds, and can be used in 2 hands to do 1d10 damage. Maul, big hammer. Costs 10 gold, does 2d6 bludgeoning, weighs 10 pounds, is heavy. That makes sense! And 2-handed. Morning Star, a bigger mace. Costs 15 gold, does 1d8 piercing, weighs 4 pounds, and has no properties. Pike. Costs 5 gold, does 1d10 piercing, weighs 10 pounds. Dear God, is heavy. Well, no shit! And requires 2 hands to use. Rapier, not a fancy way to say costs 25 gold, does 1d8 piercing, weighs 2 pounds, and is a finesse weapon. Scimitar, pirate's weapon that no one uses. Costs 25 gold, does 1d6 slashing, and that's the reason. Weighs 2 pounds and is a finesse weapon. Short sword, a sword, but short. Costs 10 gold, does 1d6 piercing. Why? And weighs 2 pounds and is finesse and light. Trident, Warthor. Costs 5 gold, does 1d6 piercing, weighs 4 pounds, can be thrown 20 to 60, 20/60 feet, and can be held in 2 hands to do 1d8 damage. Warpick. Mining away! I don't know why! Costs 5 gold, does 1d8 piercing, weighs 2 pounds, and has no properties. Warhammer. The weapon I forgot? What about? Costs 15 gold, does 1d8 bludgeoning, weighs 2 pounds, and can be held in 2 hands to do 1d10 damage. Whip. Dinky. Costs 2 gold, does 1d4 slashing, weighs 3 pounds, and is finesse and has reach. On to ranged martial weapons! Blowgun. Thump. Is 10 gold. Hold poison's expensive, my boy. 1 piercing damage, weighs 1 pound. Requires ammunition, takes time to load, and has a range of 25/100 feet. Hand crossbow. The closest you'll get to pistol. Costs 75 gold, does 1d6 piercing, weighs 3 pounds, requires ammunition, takes time to load, is light, and has a range of 30/120 feet. Heavy crossbow. Cha-ching! Costs 50 gold. Hold, does 1d10 piercing, weighs 18 pounds, is heavy, needs 2 hands to load. Adding ammo! Takes time to load, and has a range of 100/400 feet. Longbow, a ranger's most chosen weapon. Costs 50 gold, does 1d8 piercing, weighs 2 pounds, is heavy. While that does sound wrong, you have to think about the draw weight, which is usually like 60 pounds or something. Is 2 hands, needs an arrow, and has a range of 150/600 feet. Dear God! Net. Costs 1 gold. Does damage, weighs 3 pounds, has a range of 5/15 feet, and has this thing. A large or smaller creature hit by a net is restrained until it's freed. A net has no effects on the creature that are formless or creatures that are huge or larger. A creature can use its action to make a DC 10 strength check, freeing itself or another creature within its reach on a success, dealing 5 slashing damage to the net, AC 10. Also frees a creature without harming it, ending the effect and destroying the net. When you use an action, bonus action, or reaction to attack with said net, you can only make 1 attack, regardless of the number of attacks you can normally make. And that's it. On to armor. We can start with proficiency. Anyone can slap on armor or slap on a shield and call it a day. But only those who have proficiency can put it on properly. If you don't have proficiency, you have disadvantage on any ability check, saving throw, or attack roll that involves strength or dexterity. Also, you can't cast spells, just to add some flavor. When you put on armor, just how protected are you from that axe? That's AC. And it's armor class, not air conditioning. There are 3 types of armor: light, medium, and heavy. Light armor is usually what you start with the exception of certain classes. The light armor is usually lighter and therefore won't clank around, therefore it's stealthier. Medium armor is when you don't want full chain, but a bit is fine. Heavy armor is where the big boys come in, and it's usually very unstealthy and hard to move around in. Yes, you are a lumbering tank, but that armor won't save you from a poison arrow that slips through your guard. And because I hate myself, I will go through every single piece of armor. Light armor. Padded. The equivalent of strapping a mattress to your chest. Costs 5 gold. Gives an AC of 11 plus your dex modifier, not the score. You think I want a player running around with a 31 armor class? You don't need any strength to wear. You get disadvantage on stealth and weighs 8 pounds. Note, until you hit ring mail, you don't need, until you hit chainmail, you don't need any strength to wear. So for the sake of my hands and my sanity, I am leaving out the strength part. Leather. Almost every class has this. Has the option of choosing this. Costs 10 gold, gives an AC of 11 plus your dex modifier. Doesn't give disadvantage on stealth and weighs 10 pounds. Leather. Studded leather. Leather! Reinforced! Costs 45 gold. That's 35 more than leather. Gives an AC of 12 plus your dexterity modifier. No disadvantage on stealth, and weighs 13 pounds. Medium armor. Hide. For the people who can't afford armor, but so they do a DIY. Costs 10 gold, gives an AC of 12, plus your dex modifier with a max of 2. No disadvantage on stealth, and weighs 12 pounds. Chain shirt. Oh, look, the knight just woke up. Costs 50 gold. Gives an AC of 11, plus your dex modifier with a max of 2. No disadvantage on stealth, and weighs 20 pounds. Scale mail. Fishy armor. Go clunk clunk. Costs 50 gold, gives an AC of 14, plus your dex modifier with a max of 2. Gives disadvantage on stealth, and weighs 45 pounds. Breastplate. I mean, you gotta protect something. Cost 400 gold pieces. Gives an AC of 14, plus your dex modifier with a max of 2. No disadvantage on stealth, and weighs 20 pounds. Half plate. It's like plate, but half. Costs 750 gold. Gives an AC of 15 plus your dex modifier with a max of 2. Gives a disadvantage on stealth, and weighs 40 pounds. Note, all armor now gives disadvantage on stealth, so I am not putting it in. Ring mail. When you've been through so many divorces that you can make armor out of your own sorrows. Costs 30 gold, gives an AC of 14, no strength, and weighs 40 pounds. Chainmail. Knight's approval. Costs 75 gold, gives an AC of 16. Needs a strength of 13 to wear, the score this time, and weighs 15 pounds. Splint. Not for a broken bone. Costs 200 gold, gives an AC of 17, needs strength of at least 15, and weighs 60 pounds. Plate, not the dish. Costs 1,500 gold, her soul, your firstborn child, and your social security number. Gives an AC of 18, requires a strength of 15 to wear, and weighs 65 pounds. Shield, not heavy armor, but a good dinner plate. Costs 10 gold, gives a +2 to AC, no strength needed, no disadvantage to stealth, and weighs... He's 6 pounds. You can only use one shield at a time. I don't want you duct taping like 30 shields to you and running around with a friggin' infinite armor class. And don't even get me started on magic items.